What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I am going to be repainting my Suko figure from Godzilla x Kong The New Empire. And now before we get painting, we gotta fix something. That is, if the camera would focus, there it goes. Right here in the joints, if the camera would stop going out of focus. Right here, we can see that the joints are really tight right here. So if we put paint on here on any of these joints, they would just peel right off, and we'd be just stuck with brown and that orange color on the outside. So what we gotta do is kind of take his arms off, legs off. Now right here in the stomach, that is not going to probably matter because it swivels around and there's nothing rubbing or anything, and just like on the head, won't be nothing unless you try turning his head all the way around. So it's right here, it catches. Now I don't know how good that shows, but it does actually scrape some of the bottom of the chin off right there when you do this and try forcing it around. That's why it's so tight, because it's just right on this shoulder. This shoulder does the same, but it's on this side right here for some reason. It's raised or something. I'm not sure, but I'm not going to worry about that. So I'm not going to turn his head all the way around for any reason. So knowing that, let's go on and get this guy taken apart. Alright, I went on and got him all put back together. Now there are a few ways you can, if the camera would focus, a few ways you can go to like sand the figures and to take them apart. You can use a hair dryer, and but to me that just takes too long, especially when you got one like this with like all these small, well not small pieces, but a lot of pieces. So what I do, and I don't remember if I said this in my older videos when I did the Godzilla vs. Kong figures with Kong, but I took a pot, boiled some water. While it was boiling, I put the figure inside. But when you do that, don't just let the figure sit in the water or let it sink to the bottom, because that will mess the back up or melt some of the pieces. So you would need like a pair of tongs, hold the figure in it, and just let it heat up for a little bit, for like maybe 2-3 minutes, and just pull it out. And these will just pop right off. They'll be really flexible, not flexible, but like rubbery. And yes, as y'all can see, I did fill in the bottom squares. I took my 3D dueler and just went on, did that off camera, and then took the wood burner and kind of melted it so it would be flat, as y'all can see, nice and flat, so it still can stand. I just didn't like how that with the little hole at the bottom. I don't know why they did that on these newer figures. It says when you look back at the Godzilla vs. Kong figure, and they just made the whole foot and just put in those numbers. But now we're going to go on and get into the painting part. Now right here I am going to be using white prime. Alright, as y'all can see, I changed mine from white to dark gray. And I'm going to tell y'all what happened. While I was putting on the prime after I turned the camera off, I ended up accidentally knocking my paint container over, or the paint tray over, And that was the last bit of my white prime that I had, so I had to go with my other prime, and that is dark gray. But it ain't really gonna make no difference, I don't think, because of the next color we are going to be using, brown. And this is just for the body. Alright, I got the brown on the fur. He looks, now you could say he looks just like how he was at the beginning, but actually this brown is a little different than what it was. Now right here I have a paper towel, and I got some orange. This is pumpkin orange, and we're going to dry brush this all over him. Alright, I got the orange all where it needs to be at. It looks a lot better now. Looks closer to what we see in the trailer. And yes, I can still move the joints, but I gotta be a little careful, because if the camera focuses and you can see that, it does still scrape some, and that's probably my fault. I probably didn't sand enough off. But now we're gonna work on the hands. And right here I got pavement, and we're going to hit the hands, feet, and face. Alright, got that taken care of. Looks a little bit better. And yes, I did hit the ears. Sorry I did not mention that. But now we're going to move on to the next step, and we're going to need our paper towel again. So, and right here I got light gray, and we're going to dry brush over the pavement. Alright, I got them all taken care of. Right here I went on, as you can see, I went on and did the eyes and his scar off camera. Now the eyes I did with antique white, a little bit of dark green, and light green for the iris. But now we're going to move on to the MAC varnish. Alright, he's all done curing. I let it sit over night to fully cure to the figure with the MAC varnish. Now right here y'all can see it did have a little bit of paint rub, but down here really got it bad on this leg. So that is kind of my fault. I probably did not sand it long enough. But I mean, the joints still move. Back here, because these have like this tight fit to them, they are going to rub a little bit, but not enough to really notice. If you are careful enough, it won't rip off as much. Give y'all a little bit. But the hands and everything still rotate. Everything still moves. It's just right here, especially on the legs right here, because they have this little curve right here in the leg. How they did it really gets stuck. Show y'all that real quick. And it's not as bad as I kind of thought it was going to be. And the head still rotates. I'm just not going to turn it all the way around, because it will chip the paint off of the shoulders and off of the bottom of his chin. But right here, as y'all can see, the eyes are, one eye is slightly closed and one is wide open. I just followed the the, I'm trying to think of the word, I'm sorry, with the socket or where the eye was at. But when I was putting the paint in and I was following like around the thing, I realized, and y'all can see this probably right here, this his right eyebrow is actually up higher than the left one. So that's why the eyes are a little different. And I'm thinking this, why they did that, this is probably the scene or taken from when he's first meets Kong and looks up at him, is probably what it is. As you kind of got that little curve to his neck. I don't know if it's just mine or not, but mine's got a little bit of a curve, and he's kind of looking upwards on one side. So this could be what that means. And another thing is that I thought of is, did they name him Suko from like Avatar? Being named after Suko and that show. Because of the scar. And if Scar King is his like dad or something, he is just banished from the group. Or something else. I don't know. I just kind of thought about that while I was working on this. And that would kind of make some sense because of the scar. And him looking kind of closely to the Scar King. Like, could that be what it is? And yes, I can also still get him into all fours, into a running pose. It just takes a little bit to move some joints, and he can still be like that. But I don't know, I'll let y'all decide on how y'all think I did. It kind of was a hit and miss, because all I had to work with was the few scenes from the trailer, but I think I did a pretty good job for the most part. But yeah, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I hopefully will see everybody next time.